Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a deep dive into the world of literature. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you for joining me. Before we jump in, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on Toni Morrison or your favorite moment from Beloved. Today, we're tackling a titan of American literature, a book that's both beautiful and brutal, a story that lingers long after you turn the final page. We're talking about Toni Morrison's Beloved. This isn't just a novel, it's a profound exploration of memory, trauma, and the enduring legacy of slavery. It's a book that asks us to confront the ghosts of the past, not just as historical figures, but as living, breathing entities that shape the present. So, buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey that's as challenging as it is essential. Let's start with the basics. Beloved is set in 1873, in the aftermath of the American Civil War. We're in Cincinnati, Ohio, at 124 Bluestone Road, a house haunted by the literal and metaphorical ghosts of slavery. Our protagonist is Sethe, a former slave who escaped from Sweet Home, a plantation in Kentucky, 18 years prior. But Sethe isn't just haunted by the memories of her past. She's haunted by a literal ghost, the spirit of her baby daughter, whom she killed to prevent her from being taken back into slavery. Now, that's a heavy start, and rightly so. Morrison doesn't shy away from the brutal reality of slavery. She doesn't sugarcoat the violence, the dehumanization, or the psychological scars it left behind. Think about it. A mother, driven to the unthinkable act of killing her own child, not out of malice, but out of a desperate, primal love. This is the heart of Beloved. It's about the impossible choices forced upon those who were treated as property, not people. The narrative unfolds through a series of flashbacks, fragmented memories, and the present-day interactions of Sethe, her daughter Denver, and Paul D., another former Sweet Home slave. These fragments aren't presented in a linear fashion. Morrison weaves them together like a tapestry, revealing pieces of the story bit by bit. This can be challenging, but it's also incredibly effective. It mirrors the way trauma works, the way memories resurface unexpectedly, often triggered by seemingly innocuous events. Take, for instance, the scene where Paul D. sees Sethe drinking water. He immediately flashes back to Sweet Home, to the bit and bridle used to control slaves, to the way they were treated like animals. These small, seemingly insignificant details trigger a cascade of horrific memories, reminding us that the past is never truly past. It's always there, lurking beneath the surface, ready to erupt. And then there's Beloved herself. She arrives at 124 Bluestone Road as a young woman, seemingly lost and disoriented. But it quickly becomes clear that she's more than just a stranger. She embodies the spirit of Sethe's murdered daughter, returning to claim her place, to demand her story be told. Beloved's presence is both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, she allows Sethe to confront her past, to finally acknowledge the pain and guilt she's been carrying for 18 years. On the other hand, her presence is destructive, consuming, and ultimately suffocating. She becomes an insatiable force, demanding constant attention, feeding off Sethe's memories and emotions. Think of it like this. Beloved is the embodiment of unresolved trauma. She's the physical manifestation of the pain that Sethe has tried to bury, the wound that refuses to heal. And just like unresolved trauma, she becomes increasingly destructive the longer she's ignored. She forces Sethe to relive her past, to confront the horrors of Sweet Home, the brutality of schoolteacher, and the agonizing decision she made in the shed. One of the most powerful and disturbing scenes in the book is the flashback to Sweet Home, where we witness the dehumanization of the slaves firsthand. We see them treated as animals, their bodies and minds violated in the most grotesque ways. Schoolteacher, the plantation owner, embodies the cold, calculated cruelty of the slave system. He measures the slaves like livestock. He teaches his nephews to treat them as objects, not people. These scenes are hard to read, and they're meant to be. Morrison doesn't want us to look away. She wants us to confront the reality of slavery, to understand the depth of its depravity. She wants us to see the human cost, the psychological damage that extends far beyond the physical. But, Beloved, isn't just about the horrors of the past. It's also about the power of memory, the importance of storytelling, and the resilience of the human spirit. Sethe, Denver, and Paul D., despite their traumatic experiences, are survivors. They find ways to cope, to build a life, to create a sense of community. Denver, in particular, represents the hope for the future. She's the generation that's born free, the generation that has the potential to break the cycle of trauma. She's curious, intelligent, and determined to understand her mother's past, not to judge her, but to heal her. The community of Black women in the novel also plays a crucial role. They provide support, strength, and a sense of belonging. They understand the unspoken language of trauma, the shared experience of surviving slavery. They come together to exorcise Beloved, to break her hold on Sethe. This collective action highlights the importance of community in healing from trauma. Morrison also emphasizes the power of language in storytelling. The act of remembering, of telling one's story, is a form of resistance. It's a way to reclaim one's identity, to assert one's humanity. Sethe's memories, Paul D.'s stories, Denver's curiosity, these are all acts of defiance against the erasure of slavery. Now let's talk about some of the key themes that run throughout Beloved. One of the most prominent themes is the legacy of slavery. Morrison explores how the trauma of slavery continues to affect generations, how it shapes their relationships, their identities, and their sense of self. It's not just about the physical scars, but the psychological and emotional wounds that run deep. Another key theme is the power of memory. Morrison shows us how memory can be both a burden and a source of strength. It can haunt us with the horrors of the past, but it can also provide us with a sense of identity, a connection to our history. Love is another central theme. Sethe's love for her children is fierce, even destructive. It drives her to make unimaginable choices. But it's also a testament to the enduring power of maternal love, the lengths a mother will go to protect her children. And then there's the theme of identity. Morrison explores how slavery stripped individuals of their identity, how it reduced them to property, to objects. Sethe, Paul D., and Denver are all on a journey to reclaim their identities, to define themselves on their own terms. Beloved is a complex and challenging book, but it's also a profoundly rewarding one. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about our history, about the legacy of slavery, and about the enduring power of trauma. But it also offers hope, a glimpse of the resilience of the human spirit, the power of love, and the importance of memory. Morrison's writing is lyrical, poetic, and deeply evocative. She uses language to create a world that's both beautiful and brutal, a world that's haunted by the ghosts of the past. She doesn't shy away from difficult subjects, from the raw, unfiltered emotions of her characters. She invites us to feel their pain, to understand their struggles, and to witness their resilience. And that's why Beloved is so important. It's not just a story about the past, it's a story about the present. It's a story that reminds us that the legacy of slavery is still with us, that we must confront our history in order to heal. So, what can we take away from Beloved? Well, first and foremost, it's a reminder of the enduring power of trauma. It's a reminder that the past is never truly past, that it continues to shape our present and our future. It's also a reminder of the importance of memory, of storytelling, and of community. These are the tools we use to heal, to reclaim our identities, and to build a better future. Beloved is a masterpiece of American literature, a book that will stay with you long after you finish reading it.